So the thing we just created right now is a 2D rib only. So if you look at this plane, it's totally parallel with the plane. But now I want to create a 3D rib. So we gotta create first a 3D curve, and we're gonna follow exactly the same procedure. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hide this one. I'm gonna right click, hide. We're gonna hide the whole thing. Everything is still in here. So you can bring it up again if you want to. So let's insert another part body. Insert body. This is body number 2. And let's create a sketch onto XY plane. Let's create again a shape. We're not gonna put corner radius this time because click escape. We want to try the corner radius option again. So click, if you double click, we'll just stay active. So you can put the radius over here. We can put a corner radius over here. And we can change the dimension by just double clicking on it. 1.5. Or we can do highlight the whole area. And I got all the points highlighted if you see them. So right now, if I give it a dimension over here, that's gonna change all of them. So let's put ½ inch. And all of them it's ½ inch. But you see it's carrying the formula with the radius, because the moment I change this right here, automatically it's gonna update it because they're all linked together. So what will happen if I double click here, I change it to 800, automatically update all the other ones. So that's pretty cool right there. Let's get out of the sketch now. So we are now on the XYZ plane. So if you click on this right here, if you click on the Z, we are in the XYZ plane. So now let's create on this direction right here another curve, which is gonna be the Z and X plane. So let's go this plane right here. So XZ is the same as this XZ. So here, let's create another sketch. Let's create a spline. Okay, hit escape. So now we have top view curve and the side curve, which you're gonna be project this surface into, this curve into. So all we gotta do now, we gotta create a surface from this curve going this way, and then we're gonna be able to project this curve down onto this surface down here. Now to create a surface, we're gonna exit the part body, the part design, and we're gonna click here, and we can go to the shape design. That's where we create the surface. Or we can go to start a generative shape design. So either one we can use the same thing. So if you realize the icons have changed. Okay, so we go to this option over here, it's called extrude. It's gonna ask us for the profile, which is this right here, and we can drag the limits across. or you can change it yourself down here. So you can go up and down. So now as you see, we got our profile, and once we're going to get the surface down, we're going to be able to project this 3D curve, this 2D curve onto the surface. Then we're going to have our 3D curve. So click OK. And now let's go to this icon over here. It's called projection. And projection type, you can click normal or along a direction. So click along a direction, and that's going to ask us the support. That's going to be this. The direction, we want to be able to project it up and down, which is Z right here, or H. So click on this, and projected is going to be this. So now if we do a preview, we see our 3D curve down here. If we do a right click on the surface and properties, now we can't now. Click OK. Right click, properties on the surface, we can change the color so we can see the curve better. Apply, click OK. So there is our 3D curve. Now we can go back here. This is our 3D curve right here. So if you can click on it, I'll let you know the projection curve. We can go back to our part design. So we got back our normal icons. And what we can do, we don't need the surface and all this right here, so we can highlight holding the shift key down. So click on this, hold the shift key, highlight everything, do right click, hide everything that we don't need. Just click our curve. Now we can create a plane perpendicular to this curve, so we can give it the profile of the rib that's going to follow across. So we can go back to the plane, normal to the curve. It's going to ask us the curve. So select the curve, automatically by default it goes in the middle, but we can change the point right here. Now click OK. Open a sketch on this plane. So click sketch, select the plane. We can create our profile wherever you prefer. Okay, now what we can do, we can create a point over here. We have to make sure we have this construction element on. Click a point. Let's make sure it goes in the middle. So we got the full moon, that means we have the point in the middle. Let's pre-select the points, this point with this point. Let's go to the dimension, and before you click it, do right click, coincidence. Okay, so we got that profile right in the middle. Now we get out of the sketch, and let's give it a try on the rib again. Go back to the rib option. It's gonna ask us for the profile. This is our profile. What happened is, you see we got points on our sketch, so we can do this. So we can gotta cancel this, we can see our point in here. So I guess my point, let's double click click escape. Let's go back into our sketch, and I guess our point, see this is, I don't know how come I didn't pay attention, but this is not on. So that my point in here is not set for the construction element. So just click on this. Now once I get out of the sketch, we don't see our point anymore. So now we can go back to the rib option, and we shouldn't get the error anymore. Click on the profile. Now click on the center curve. Yeah, we make it way too fancy. We went way too complicated. So want us to have a smaller curvature. Is too complicated, the profile that I just did. But if we do a preview, yeah, like we need to make a smaller curvature. So we can get out of here, cancel this, and let's go back into our sketch mode. Double click on the sketch, and let's shrink this a little bit. So we can do just highlight it, and we can go to this option over here. It's called offset. It cannot do that, so let's try this. Let's highlight everything, holding the control key down. Oh, check this out. We got the dimension over here. So what you can do, instead of doing the offset, we can just put over here 0.2, and automatically it's gonna make it smaller. And let's give it another dimension from here to here, holding the control key down. So we got it a little smaller. What I was gonna show you over here by this offset, if we have this, what we can do, just highlight the stuff that you want to offset. Just click on this option right here, and you can go bigger or smaller. Or if you hit the tab key, you're gonna come down here and make it 0.300 and click OK, and that's our dimension right there. So that's offset, but we don't need this anymore. So let's get out of here. Let's go on a rib and give it another try. Rib definition, center curve. See, right now, because we made the sketch a little smaller, I was able to do it. So if we click preview, it's pretty twisted, as you can see. But now we have a 3D rib. At the same time, we can make a thick profile. So this is going to be our thickness, or we can put neutral fiber. Yeah, because it's too thick, it doesn't like it. So let's take this option out and just leave one thickness to it. Click preview. Click OK. That's a little crazy twisting part right there. So that's a 3D curve. Okay, so if you bring this up again, the first one, this is a 2D. As you look at your profile, it's a 2D sketch, and that one down here, it's a 3D sketch. Okay, so we can hide this again, and if we're not comfortable with this shape over here, we can double click on the sketch. We can delete everything in here, and we can just create a simple arc. We'll have to make sure we turn this option off. Let's turn on our project. So we gotta make sure we we move this arc on the center of our projection curve. So let's pre-select those 2 points, the point of the curve and the point of this arc. Coincidence, right click before you click it, click coincidence. Now we got our arc in the center. Now if we get out of the sketch, automatically, so if we get out of the sketch right now, automatically it's gonna update our rib. So let's get out of here. And as you see right now, we got an arc instead of that profile. So automatically updates your profile. It's a very easy option. So if you decide you made a mistake, you always can double click on the sketch, change your diameter or radius, 350, click OK, get out of the sketch, and your models automatically updated. So I love this about Catia. It's very easy to use. Let's try to use now the slot icon. So we can hide this, or we can try to open a new part. But we can, for now, just a little quicker, just let's get familiar inserting more parts in here. So we can go to insert body parts, and let's do a properties and rename this to a slot. Then let's open our sketch mode to create a box or a pad. We can create before I do this, I want to show something else. We can create a rectangular without a pad without doing the sketch. We can do it from the pad icon. So let's cancel that, get out of here. Instead of going here, click on it, coming over here, create a rectangular, open a sketch. There's a couple steps, but what we can do, just click straight on the pad, and if you look down here on the selection, it's got the sketch button. So just click on this, and it's gonna ask us for the plane. Automatically we get into the plane view. We just build a rectangular, then we get out, and automatically we have our pad or the box. Okay, click 1 inch, click OK, and there we have it. Now let's create another sketch with the profile of the groove, which is going to go through the surface. So we can pre-select the surface to open a sketch on top of it. We don't have to go down here. We just click on the top of the pad, open a sketch, and we can create ourselves a groove. So we can click on the spline. That's gonna go to our part. Click escape. If you want to go straight line from here down, what we can do, we can break this over here. So going over here, click break. Let's break this over here. So now we have two bodies. We split this curve in two pieces. So if you click on this right here, click the delete key. Let's get some points. Let's delete those, highlight and delete. We can click on the profile. What we can do, we can hide the body because we can see it well. Okay, so go over here on the end of the part. Let's zoom in a little bit to make sure we can see it. So let's make sure we get right at the end of the profile. Once you get the full moon, we know that we're right at the end. So let's create a straight line across. Okay, let's click escape. Let's bring our pad back. That's gonna be our profile of the groove. We can get out of the sketch, and now we gotta create again a plane perpendicular to this curve. Same thing as we did for the rib option. So we can create a plane either on this end or on this end. It's totally up to you. The only thing we gotta create right now, a plane perpendicular. So just click on the curve, go back on the plane. Automatically it's set up for normal to the curve. So just leave it like that. Instead of the middle, we can click on this point. So we can have our sketch over there. Our plane, we can have it over there. Or we can have it, click on the point again, and we can have it over here. So it's totally up to you. Click OK. Now click on the plane and let's open a sketch again. So see right now the part that's upside down, but we can click normal view 2 times and automatically we are on the front of the part. So normal to the view, we can create ourselves a profile. We can get out of here. Get out of the sketch, and now let's go to the slot option. It's going to ask us for the profile, for the center curve. Click preview, click OK, and there's our slot. But we see our sketch, it's a little too short over here. But no problem, what we can do, we can hide the sketch, bring it back to the screen, just double click on it. And what we can do, just grab this line and make it bigger. But if you don't want to move it this way, let's do Control Z. If you want to go same direction, there's a couple of ways of doing this. You can do this, create a line, and then make sure this is in the construction. And we can go to the trim option. So you can grab this line, and we can trim it with this line. That's one way. Control Z to put it back, or we just click on this right here and just same thing. Okay, so now if we get out of the sketch mode, our model is automatically updated. Or if you want to put some fillets around these edges, there's a couple ways also doing this. We can click on this surface, automatically highlighted everything, and we can click on the fillet over here and see what it's trying to do. Let's click oh, it's not gonna work because it's highlighting this right here. So there's the minimum, see what it does. No, it's gonna put the radius down here, so we don't want that. What we can do, we can just hold the control key down and just we can do just one at a time. So right now I just hold the control key down, but if I use the tangency, automatically it's gonna do all this across. So let's click on the fillet. Make sure you have a tangency instead of minimal, because minimal, as I showed before, is gonna try to do only minimal. But if you do tangency, it's gonna follow the profile all the way across. So let's do OK. Oh, I didn't do it. So in that case, we gotta go back to the objects fillet and just hold the control key down. And we have to make sure we select the edges only. So we got those edges selected. Click preview, and we have a radius over there. Same thing we can do the other side, or we can put this radius on our sketch. So that's another way of doing it. So let's delete this fillet. We can double click on our sketch, go back on our sketch. Let's put it, click this normal to view twice, and we can have our radius over here, and we can do just highlight this, click corner radius, 0.100, and get out of here, and we have our fillets in there. So what if it's easier for you, just use it. You know, it's a couple ways of doing the same thing with Catia. You know, it's totally up to you. So this is the slot option. So let's start a new part design, and this time we want to try the multi-section solid. So let's open again a sketch and let's try to build a weird shape part. So that's an ellipse right there. So let's offset this plane over so we can create another shape over here, so we can create our multi-solid. You can tell by the icon, it's got multi-sections curves that we can apply. So let's go to the plane and let's go offset. We can put the reverse direction, and if you click on the arrow you can move it up and down. Okay, so go reverse direction, and it's the direction you prefer. Let's make it 6 inches. Let's open another sketch on this plane, and let's build ourselves another ellipse. See, so now we have 2 of them. You can go multiple sections at a time for this option over here. So now we can try a multi-section icon. Click on it, select both curves, and you gotta keep in mind on the closing points, because if they go the opposite direction, it might not work. So right now they're all pointing the same direction, and if I click preview, see, it looks pretty good, and you can see it's going from this point to this point. There is a couple options of doing this. If I reverse the point, that's not gonna work. If I do a preview, it doesn't like it because the direction is not the same with this right here. What we can do, we have to make sure we put the point, the arrow pointing the right way, same as the other closing point. Now let's do a preview. This should work. But there is a couple options of doing this. If you do a right click anywhere on the screen, you got a couple options you can choose from. So if you do vertical coupling and you do a preview, see how it changed. It's trying to see that it's a vertical dimension from here to here, vertical lines. Or we can do ratio coupling. Let's do a preview. So, but if you look, you see the little curve coming in here. And if we do the vertical, it's gonna be preview. That's gonna be the best one we're looking for. So usually the vertical, I think it's one of the best one for our option right now. But whatever you're creating, if you have multiple sections, for example, if let's say we have 1, 2, and another one over here, maybe the vertical might not work so great. So you can choose anyone you can prepare from here. Okay, so for now let's leave it vertical coupling. Preview, click OK, and this is our multi-section. So try the shell option. So let's click on this surface with this surface. Let's make it 50,000. Click OK, and there is our part, multi-section with a shell. Okay, what do you want to do now? We want to take it to the next level, a little bit more advanced. We want to make some ribs across this part. So what we're going to do first, let's insert a geometrical set, and let's call it use for ribs. Click OK. You see the line underneath? That means it's defined in a work object. If I click right here, I put define in a work object. Everything I'm going to build is going to come under this folder. So for instance, if I want to build anything under this folder right now, if I want to build any sketches, it's gonna go under this folder. Okay, so if we get out and let's do define under org objects, and if I want to build a sketch, it's gonna go under this folder. So right now the sketch is gonna be under this folder, but we don't want that. So let's get out, define, and let's offset this plane. Let's go reverse direction. Let's offset it about here, 1.5. Then let's offset one more plane. Reverse direction. Let's try 2. About here. Let's make it 4. Click OK. And what we want to do, we try to pull this surface out of here, and we can go to surface icon again, which is the shape design, and we can offset this icon over here. We can click offset. So now it's going to try to offset this surface. We can do everything all at once, or we can do one at a time. So we can use the offset option. We can use 0, and there's our surface. So right now if I hide my part, we can see our surface over there. Or instead of doing an offset, we can use this cool option over here. Let's delete this option. It's called extract. So we can click on this right here, and we can put a tangent, and it's going to pull up the whole surface all at once. Okay, so this is our surface. Those are our planes right here, and let's rename this properties. Let's call it offset number 1. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to come here, and I'm going to call it offset number 2. Paste it. Okay, we're going to use this the main surface. And we have to publish those surfaces and planes that we just created. So let's click Tools, Publications, offset number 1, offset number 2. Those are the planes. And main surface, you can see them, they come over here on the bottom. Later on, we're gonna understand the reason why you use the publication. Okay, because once we're gonna start our assembling, this publication over here is gonna help us to offset our ribs. Right now probably it's not gonna make any sense, but while we move forward, we're gonna be able to understand the reason for these publications. Okay.